So we got 2 legs done now. Now we did Bern over to Zurich, and now we're gonna just do leg number 3, and then we can call this bush trip completed in one nice long live stream here. So we are going to LSZR 25 minutes, which is the St. Gallen Altenrhein Airport. And we are going to go to Lake Uberlingen, Lake Constance, and then Altenrheinen. It's a very short flight here. Left your 172 back in the sky, set a northeasterly course and fly for 24 miles to reach Zeller Sea, an aspect of Lake Constance. All right, so first we're going to just take this off here. Just check, make sure. All right, let's get flap 10 set, and let's make sure our pitch trim is set for takeoff. Oh, it is set for takeoff. I think it got reset when I did the reset here. I can lead you on an alternate route that's much more beautiful. It's tempting. Like I said, I really kind of want to just, I do want to show this off. I'm gonna split this up into 3 different videos, but also post this on my YouTube just to give people a chance to see what these bush trips really truly are all about. But EDDF traffic, Dusseldorf traffic. But this must be one of the bespoke airports from Microsoft Flight Simulator, judging by the amount of detail on those terminal buildings. There's no way that these are, no, those are not default terminal buildings. This is bespoke airport. So I'm not even gonna bother backtracking this runway. This runway is long enough. We're just gonna depart from the intersection here and go. All right, so once we get airborne, we're looking for a heading of 046. Try to remember to start the timer this time. All right, here we go. Leg number 3 of the Swiss Northern Lakes Bush Tour. Starting out at Zurich. Away we go. There's something about the way these airplanes take off in the sim, especially the Cessnas. They just sort of, you just sort of trundle them into the sky. It really is just so well done. I really enjoy flying this simulator. The first time I flew the simulator, like I'll never forget like how real it felt. The first time I got the simulator, I basically recreated just flying circuits at my home airport where I learned how to fly in a 150. And it felt so real that first time I just sort of put the power up there, pulled it off the runway. I was like, oh my god, like I can't tell the difference between this and reality anymore. Now, having spent a little bit of time in it, I'm a little bit used to it. I'm a little bit used to how it feels, how it looks. But just that first time, like as you felt the ground fall away and all these buildings that I recognized, that was what probably more than anything kind of blew my mind. Was I saw these buildings, I recognized them. I knew where I was because I'd flown circuits so many times in this airport. I knew exactly where I was, just from kind of what I could see out of my peripheral vision. I could see on both sides. At one side, I could see, you know, I could see some office buildings nearby. The other side, I could see some houses. I knew exactly where it was. It was such an uncanny feeling, the realism that first time around. I've gotten over it, and I know it's a sim, but just like, I was just shocked by how good it could feel, how close to reality it could feel with that extra perspective of those extra buildings that you know should be there in the right spot, not just like little blocky computer generated buildings, but they're even generally the right color, the right shape, the right size. Just blew me away. All right, so this first leg is a long one. It's 11 minutes, 23, almost 24 miles to get us to Zeller Sea, an aspect of Lake Constance. A famous body of water where Switzerland, Austria, and Germany meet. So we head off to the northeast. We'll see Lake Constance. So I'm going to go for 35, might be a little low. I'm going to go for, you know, 35 might be okay. I think we'll go for 35 initially, and if we can't, if it looks like we're causing trouble, we'll go to 45. Just for the record, I would have led you along a Vierwaldstatter Lake to the Pilatus factory over Lake Wallen into the Rhine Valley, visiting Liechtenstein, Austria. We should end up at the Altenheim just the same, but it would have been 20, 30 minutes longer. There you go. And I don't know if I have quite that long in me here. I mean, I guess that's what this one is too. It's about 25 minutes. But if it's, yeah, if it's going to be that much longer, starting to get a little late. I did do a lot of work today, so I am starting to feel a little tired. I was honestly having a little internal debate with myself there. I didn't say it out loud, but about whether to continue with the next leg or whether to call it a night. But I really would like to get this done and prove that it can be done in a night too. And that's why I chose this one as well. Is it's a shorter one. This is a shorter bush tour. Most of the other bush tours are a little longer. There are a few short ones as well. I was also debating another one I think would be very beautiful, would be the Iceland tour. That would be a lot of fun. Iceland's a beautiful country to go explore. So I think that would be a great bush tour as well to do. That one's pretty. It's kind of comparable to this one. I think it's only 2 legs. I think it's about 2 hours, but it's only 2 legs. It's basically 1 hour each because there's not that many airports in Iceland, to be honest. It's beautiful scenery, and you do it in the caravan too, so you're actually covering a decent bit of distance. But I do like that they do kind of try to keep it reasonable. So I like that they use the caravan for Iceland. It's a little faster. It covers the distance that you need to go a little better. All right, so we got the timer started. We need 11 minutes to get to Zellersee. So which way would you have gone? So you would have gone along Vierwaldstatter Lake to the Pilatus factory over Lake Wallen into the Rhine Valley. So you would have gone north more, I guess. Taking the more northerly route to get there. Which does sound like fun. I may come back and I may even just try that one day. So I'm just going to read this out loud for my own benefit later. I can rewatch my stream. So lead you along Vierwaldstatter Lake to the Pilatus factory, over Lake Wallen, into the Rhine Valley, visit Liechtenstein and Austria, and end up at the Altenheim just the same. Or is it the south that you have to go? No, southeast. Oh, right through the outskirts. Okay, so follow that big lake to the south. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, this one seems like a little bit of a cop-out, just to sort of like, oh, fly for 25 miles before you actually see anything. Every once in a while, you'll get one of these kind of cop-out legs in these bush trips where it's just like, oh, just fly 25 miles in a straight line and hope you see things. Most of the time, these bush trips, it's 10 miles, it's 15 miles. You can pretty much almost see the next point as you're leaving the first point. Definitely a little bit of a straighter rail line through this valley here. Oh, and I think I can see Lake Constance now already peeking out through between these peaks here. Yeah. And I do tend to agree with that logic. Yeah, like it is a bit of a cop-out when I look at this now. If you have to fly a 25-mile leg without anything happening, I feel like you weren't really trying. Or maybe they were trying to keep it like under that 2-hour mark, just to sort of give it as a great sort of initial bush tour. Like, hey, try this one out, see what you think of it. If you like it, you know, you can go for the longer ones. That's what I was trying to do here. Like, I didn't want to pick a long one. I wanted to pick one of the short ones so I can show what it's like to fly the whole bush tour. But yeah, I highly recommend it. Like that, like I said, that one in Nevada, California, really is fantastic. You're bombing along in a Piper Cub, so it's like you're, you know, you're not making great progress over the ground. You're not doing a high speed. You know, the 150 is fast compared to or the 172 is, you know, a speed demon compared to what the Cub is doing. But you're down there, you're low, you're slow, you get to see the scenery. I think there's like 27 or 28 legs or something like that. So you could never do it all in one night. You'd have to break it off over several different nights. But take your friends, take your buddies, and either log into VATSIM or use the Microsoft multiplayer. But do it with friends, because I tell you, like, if you think we're having fun now, just kind of doing this by ourselves, twice as much fun if you got other planes out there. I did another one with a different group of guys and gals that we did a tour of the Great Barrier Reef down the coast of Australia, down the eastern coast of Australia, about I think it was about 6 or 8 legs or something like that. And at one point there were 5 of us flying it, and we're just all like kind of just formation flying, but like not really trying to formation fly, just trying to sort of keep each other in sight, try to be the first one to spot the next leg. And we're having, we're on TeamSpeak, we're having like a constant live discussion of it as we're going, so we can talk about what we're doing. So I guess this is Lake Constance, probably here. How long have we had? We've had 7 minutes, yeah. About 4 more minutes, we'll be right over that. Okay, so that'll be Zeller C, and then turn into an east-northeast heading 077, about 20 degrees, 30 degrees to the right, and you'll soon reach Lake Uberlingen, the northwestern finger of the lower portion of Lake Constance. Okay, so the northwestern finger, the lower portion of Lake Constance. Yeah, so I can start to see now that this opens up into a huge lake here. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it would have been more fun to go the south route, but that's okay because I'm getting tired too, so this will probably be good for me. And try that Scandinavian bush trip. It's just, here's a landmark we added to this world update. Fly for heading for the 10 minutes to the next landmark. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I can see it here. Like it's, you can see the whole thing. So this must be the Zeller Sea, and then we turn and we're gonna find Lake Uberlingen, then over the main part of Lake Constance and into Altorainen. Yeah, I've only finished, I think, 3 of the bush trips to date out of the 19. They keep adding them, so many of them that. But if you're having fun watching this, and when you guys watch this on my YouTube channel as well, please let me know in the comments if you're enjoying watching me try to fly these bush trips, because I probably will do more of them on stream. I think they're very well structured for the most part. Are they perfect? No. Could there be things done better? Of course, there's always things you could do a little bit better. We could always tweak things a little bit better, but I just, it's almost like a scavenger hunt. That's kind of the way I like to view it, as a scavenger hunt of trying to find these particular landmarks that they've got. So it's a little bit, it rewards good navigation. If you can maintain heading and speed quite accurately, then you'll be rewarded by being at the right spot at the right time. Or if you're just good at spotting visual landmarks, that too. Reading the clues here, reading the descriptions, and interpreting them correctly to get you to your destination. So I'm going to say that this is probably Zeller C up here. So once we come over that, that'll put us right about the 11-minute mark. It'll be just about right. We'll take a 20 degrees to the right for Lake Uberlingen, which might be this next finger right here. It's the northwestern finger of the lower portion of Lake Constance. And there is kind of like a break here between Zeller C here and what is probably the main portion of Lake Constance. And then we're just going to go basically across that and descend and land. And that'll be the end of the Swiss Lakes bush trip. There are hundreds of free bush trips available on flightsim.to. Yeah, and I've seen that. I've looked at a few of them. I have lots of other ones too. I'm just trying to find stuff to do. Things that are entertaining. I mean, the nice thing is that this is built in for everybody. There's no effort to find it. It's as long as you have the sim installed, these are available to you as well. Because the other thing too is that if I do get a chance and post it on my Discord ahead of time, I would love to have a couple of people I'll log into VATSIM or something and be able to actually do this as a multiplayer experience. I think that would also be quite entertaining to watch. I know we've had a lot of fun doing it. Alright, so once we get out over this body of water here, we're going to take up the 077 heading, which is pretty much going to put us, it looks like, right over that finger. It does. Maybe they didn't want us to fly over the Pilatus factory because they don't have the Pilatus in this sim. It's TBM or nothing, darn it. On the other side of Lake Constance is the city of Friedrichshafen, with one of the oldest airports of Europe. That I did not know. You are just full of trivia. I'm loving it though. Alright, so I think this is part of the Zeller Sea that they wanted to just sort of fly over, was this very end here. So we're going to go ahead and take up the 77 heading. It looks like it's going to put us this finger right here, and that would be northwestern, kind of part of the main part of of Lake Constance. Yeah. So right across here, over there, turn to the right, fly for 12 miles, and then eventually another 10 miles. Get to Altenrhein. Another beautiful little village, so well rendered. Oh, there's our shadow down there. Just making its way across the field. You can barely even see it, but it's right there. Alright, so this will be Lake Uberlingen. Doesn't Uberlingen just mean big lake in German? Which, looking out at the size of this lake, might be an understatement. It is a very big lake, it is true. As we get over that, we're going to take the 137 heading, so it's going to be there. Looks like the airport's probably going to be somewhere over there. Just to look at the picture. Uberlingen is supposed to be 4 minutes. Funny how the terrain changes color here. Satellite views that were processed here probably were taken at a different time of year. It's got a much browner tinge to it, but it's blended so well that it kind of, it's not immediately obvious when you see it. And now there's a little bit of a border now that I see it there, but you know, the blending of these trees here, like you kind of, it looks a little odd at first, but like it's not stark. There's a little blending which kind of takes the edge off that change in color. You can see like there's a bunch of stuff that's different color here, so I think it's probably, judging by the fact that everything on the other side of the lake is back to the same kind of tones of green, I think it's just this block of satellite images was taken at a different time frame. Birthplace of the Zeppelin and a lot of Dornier planes, and where they built the Zeppelin rigid ship. So whereabouts on a lake, the other side of Lake Constance? So are we talking, like, when you say the other side, you mean like over here, or like could it be like, I'm just curious, like a lot further down this northern coast? Chat reader, hello, welcome aboard. We are not in Indiana, that's for sure. We are flying the third leg of the Swiss Alps Bush Tour, just for fun. Just wanted to show this off, show how these bush trips work, and really, it's a lot of fun. Like, I really do look upon it as a treasure hunt, as a scavenger hunt. Trying to put together these clues, headings and tracks, and try and make sure that I am flying where I think I'm flying, anyways. All right, so we're pretty much over Lake Uberlingen. So we're going to turn down to the southeast, fly for 12 miles until we're over the bulk of Lake Constance, and then eventually we're going to land at Altenrhein. Alright, so from here we need a 137 heading. So 137 should hopefully put us just facing the south shore there. And then so at some point in about 20 miles we're going to land at Altenrhein. It looks like the airport's not too far inland from the coast, so we should be able to spot it. It's probably actually right about here. Or maybe it's here. So I'm just trying to spot. So I see on the picture here, I see a little kind of thing of land sticking out right there, which could be that. There's also a smaller bit of land sticking out, which I think could be that, which is why I think the airport could be right here. But I could be totally wrong, too. I could be totally looking in the wrong spot. So as we get a little closer in, we'll definitely spot it. But oh, and we got to reset and restart our timer because this should be initially about 5.5 minutes and then 4.5 minutes. It's Lake Constance and have Altenrhein on your right. Friedrichshafen is ahead on the other shore of the lake. Okay, so Friedrichshafen will be on the north shore here. So Altenrhein will be about here. Friedrichshafen is going to be somewhere on this north shore further ahead if we want to go visit another day. I'm definitely not going to have the time for that. Running out of steam. It's getting pretty late in the evening for me personally, but oh, Bregenz. So Germany, Switzerland, and then on the southern corner, Bregenz in Austria, which I am a James Bond fan now that you ask. I haven't seen a Bond movie in a long time, but I do enjoy them. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy them. I haven't even seen the new one. I'm a little bit behind on my Bond movies. I enjoyed them a lot more when I was younger. As I've got a little older, you know, I have daughters. Like I enjoy the movies, but like I don't. It's hard to kind of reconcile that. There's just the whole chauvinistic attitude of the movies. The modern movies are a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it's still having daughters, especially, kind of really changes your life perspective. It's things that you kind of enjoyed when you were younger, you start to kind of question the values that they teach. Even movies, I enjoy the movies, but yeah, I have a little bit of a harder time watching them now. Yeah, and I have to agree. I think Sean Connery was. I mean, he created James Bond essentially. I mean, I know Ian Fleming created James Bond, but he created the character, the charismatic character that we all kind of really grew to know. Really brought it into popular culture. So to me, Sean Connery will always be like the ultimate James Bond. He did it so well. He was so suave and cool about it. You just wanted to be him. Everybody, I think, wanted to just be him. He's just such a cool character. But that being said, I do think Daniel Craig does make a good Bond as well. Very, very different. Suave, but in a very different way. Yeah, Sean Connery was suave in a very kind of self-confident way. The sort of the self-loathing of the James Bond character, he kind of captured it a little bit, but it was a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? It was a lot more nuanced, a lot more subtle. Now Daniel Craig's kind of almost gone for the Batman style James Bond, where he is a very brooding kind of character. You know, the sore hero that does what he has to for Queen and country, not because he wants to. I do like him though. I think Daniel Craig does a very good job. He does really play that tortured soul of James Bond very well. All right, I'm just gonna nudge the nose over a little bit here, and I'm just looking up the coastline to sort of reconcile this picture. And now that I look at it, this bit of land could either be this bit, or it could even be a little further along. This bit of land could be right here. So the airport could be right here. I don't know that for sure yet, but as we get a little closer in, I think we're going to see it here. So we're just going to continue to follow this coastline here until we spot the airport. Oh, and there you go. Now you kind of see there. So that probably is Friedrichshafen over there. Looks like a fairly large city there. So that would be where the Zeppelin factory is. And could well be there. It could also be just a little further along. It's hard to tell just yet, but as we get a little closer in, basically I need about 10 minutes of timing, so I'm basically about halfway there. I could believe that it's there. I could believe it's a little further along. But one thing's for sure, as long as we follow this shoreline, we will not fail to spot this airport. It's just a question of when. Just doing a very slow descent. We just brought the power off ever so slightly. See, and that could be it right there. Maybe. Hard to tell. Like I said, as long as we follow the shoreline, we will find it. Yeah, and that's just it. The Bond franchise, it kind of started very serious with Casino Royale and with Sean Connery, and then yeah, in the especially in the Roger Moore years, it became a bit of a slapstick. Yeah, Timothy Dalton as well. Yeah, Timothy Dalton as well. He's the one I can never think of. I always think of Roger Moore when I think of the slapstick ones, and he does it in such a way. Roger Moore does it in such a way that you still like him. He's still charming about it, even though he knows it's goofy, even though he knows that they're kind of poking fun at themselves half the time. He makes no bones about it that the movies are over the top. He knows it. He knows you know it, and you know a couple times throughout they even allude to it. You know, like this never happens to the other guy. I think is something Roger Moore said at one point. I like them though. I mean, the plots, the not necessarily the plots themselves, but the premise behind a lot of those movies is very good. The execution, yeah, is a little comical, but the premise, the stories behind them, the stories behind Moonraker is good. It's a little fantastical. It's a little out there, but I still thought it to be a very good story. But yeah, I do like that Daniel Craig really brought it to a very much a serious role again. Was it George Lazenby? I could have sworn it was Roger Moore that said that. I know Roger Moore has said a couple of things like that, where he's kind of alluded to the fact that he's got a few comical lines anyways in a couple of his movies. Just really kind of trying to focus on spotting this airport here because I'm going to fly right over it if I'm not careful. Could be there. Or it could be right here. Friedrichshafen, yeah. Yeah, right across the lake there, yeah. So it was the one I was kind of pointing at earlier. Where is this airport? Did I miss it? No. We should be about 3 or 4 more minutes to go. So, oh, I think I see it there. Because here's this big factory. There it is. I think I see the runway. I think we're just lining up with the runway here. I hope. Or I'm just about to land on a road. Is it further down? It could be further down. Maybe it is further down. Maybe it's further around. Oh! And then I look over here, and what do I see? I see a runway looking at me. Yeah, it was just a little road, but it looked at that white factory there kind of caught me right there, just underneath the nose there. There it is. Okay. Well, I wouldn't have landed on that by this point. Now I would have realized I was in the wrong spot. There we go. Perfect. So there's the runway. Be able to line up with that nicely momentarily. It does kind of match the whole picture now. I see the lakes that we're looking at, the mountains kind of falling off in the distance. Yeah, okay. You've done this approach before. I should listen to you. There we go. Altenrhein Airport, St. Gallen Altenrhein Airport. We're gonna land there, and that'll be it for our bush tour. But I hope you guys had fun watching this. I definitely had fun doing it. I have not done live streams this summer like I normally do. Not nearly as many. It's just been so busy, and I thought to myself, I have a little bit of time this evening. Let's see if I can squeeze in a live stream in just for the fun of it. And I know I hate to kind of surprise people with them, and not kind of post in advance when I'm going to do them. But I just have been so busy. It's hard to commit to anything this summer. I just never know when I'm going to have time. Life has just been so crazy busy all the time lately. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and get the 10 flaps there. You can see on the pappies that we are a little high, but we're not too high, I don't think. We get a little sink here for 30 seconds or so. We should start to see some red pappies there. I think we're starting to see that first red pappy already. This is probably the most stable approach I've made thus far. And there we go. We got 2 whites, 2 reds. Pitch her up a little bit, give her a little bit of power so she stays where I put her. Just gonna get rid of this thing here. What beautiful scenery. Ugh, I just love this simulator so much. It's just such a pleasure to fly through at VFR. Like no sim before. Other sims, we've flown VFR before, but I've never found it to be a pleasure like it is in this sim, where it's just, there's eye candy everywhere. I'm having a hard time focusing on the runways and the pappies because my eyes are just kind of wandering from side to side, just looking at that, taking in the mountains, drinking in the mountains. All right, I'm just going to do a flap 20 landing here. Nice stable approaching. Pulling the power off. I'm also used to flaring an airliner, so I'm also used to flaring a little too high above the runway all the time. But oop. I just paused it just a little bit. That's okay. Now, is there anywhere I could turn off here, or do I have to roll all the way to the end? Having never been here before and not having the charts. I mean, and I would not normally fly without charts. I would never normally fly without charts, but just for me, these bush tours are just fun. They're just about having a little bit of fun, having an adventure. Am I supposed to just taxi across the grass, or is there eventually a paved taxiway down here? I think I see a sign, so there must be paved taxiway eventually. But yeah, for me, these bush tours are just about having fun. So I don't pull out the charts. I really just, I want to get in and just enjoy the scenery. And I mean, look at that scenery up there. Just look at those mountain passes. All right, so let's go ahead and just quickly taxi off here. Just find somewhere to park in front of that first hangar there. It definitely looks like this is another bespoke airport, though. Look at the level of detail at this airport here. I'm gonna nail myself on these taxiway signs. All these taxiway signs are a little bit comically large. Alright, clear the runway. We kill the strobe, kill the landing, put the taxi on, and kill the pitot heat. Alright, so we're just gonna pull it up just in front of this hangar here. Come to a full stop at the Segelflugruppe Santis. Make sure I don't ping my wing on the building, or I will lose all of my progress. If you crash during a bush trip, you have to start the leg again, as people have found out the hard way. And we're done. Leg completed, and the Swiss Lakes bush trip is complete. And that's it. All I can do now is go back to the main menu or restart it. So that's it. We are done with the Swiss bush trip. We're done with our live stream for this evening, guys. Segelflugruppe, glider group. Thank you. But But yeah, that was tons of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really kind of enjoyed that. That was something I've been meaning to do for a long time. Was just take one of these bush trips up there, have some fun with it. It's a fun way to explore the world. It's a fun way to use Flight Simulator, and it's twice as much fun if you can find somebody to go with you. So if you can get the multiplayer, get your multiplayer up and running, find your friends, add your friends and just go do a trip with your friends. It's tons of fun. There's so many bush trips to do. Uh, I've only done a handful of them really. As you can see, most of them are still at 0%. We got the Balkans one half done. I started this one. This one is beautiful too. Bordeaux to Mont Blanc in the Pyrenees and the Alps. Oh, that one's gorgeous too. Some of them are long though. Some of them are short. Some of them are long. We did the North Queensland coast. The Breckenridge to Mariposa one, that is fantastic. There's just some absolutely fantastic stuff to see out here. Um, it's a great way to explore this world, and it's a neat little treasure hunt. I look upon it as a fun little challenging treasure hunt to do it like that, without pulling out the charts, without looking at anything. I like to see if we can get to our destination. Like I said, some of these are short, some of them are long. Like this one down here, the Breckenridge to Mariposa one is in total, it's 9 hours and 33 minutes, 900 miles in a Savage Cub. So you know, that one's pretty long. Some of them are fairly short, like that one we just did. Um, the Iceland one here is not too long as well. I think it's 2 hours, not even. It's 4 hours actually. Um, there's actually a fair number of legs to it. I thought it was really short. So, anyways, maybe I'll do that one next. But if you guys want to see more of them, please, you know, let me know in the comments below when I post this on YouTube. Otherwise, I'm gonna call it a night. But have yourselves a great night, guys. I hope you had fun watching. I had tons of fun flying it. It's always fun, and I will see you guys all out there real soon. Have a good night.